Do you let the opponent get the lead early?
I don't know. Rival has twice now come back from the lead. We'll see if they can do it again. Game 3.
Numero tres, Barrage. First pick, Team Rival going to have the counter pick on the Chaos side. Picks and bans, I do expect to see very similar things, right? The Khepri, the Odin, the Guan, and then kind of a flavor, I think, will be the third one, depending on what teams don't want to deal with. The Wukong, so the Wukong is actually very effective. I think Hydra just played it very poorly in the end, so we'll have to see. And Team Rival, they're actually going to ban it away, not looking for it themselves.
Yeah, they don't want to be aggressed on out of the jungle by that. Hades and Guan Yu will be taken away by Barrage as they look to find their third consecutive victory here in your EU SCL Qualifiers. Isis will be opted for numero 1, and Soul will be selected for numero 2.
So, Isis, pretty effective recently. Barrage is going to go back to it, but something they forgot about. Khepri going to be open 100% win rate so far. We'll see if that holds true and Rival can finally upset Barrage in these finals. It's going to be Thor on the other side. Athena is an option here if they want to go. Could look to go for Geb as well. I do expect them to kind of pick the support they want to match up against this Soul Khepri, which is more than likely going to be the dual lane, but it will be Athena going to that double global composition.
Who will it be? Nuwa is it on Team Rival?
Wow.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised on that one here.
I don't dislike it. I'm generally surprised when Nuwa is selected, but I don't think it's necessarily a poor choice. I do find her combo a little clumsy to really pull off. Like putting out the minions and then blowing them up with shinging metal.
I thought you meant the QA guy. Clumsy death.
Yeah, he was actually our most recent guest on Let's Talk. That airs every Wednesday at 6
p.m.
on hi-rez TV.
And you didn't even have to cheat this time to beat him. Neath and Jablanca going to be taken away by Rival, guaranteeing to me that this Soul will be going into Hunter, although we kind of expected that already with the new all picked up. It's going to be Junglers banned out by Barrage as they already have their Thor, so taking out the Hunbat's definitely a good pick. The Bastet, something that Rival was pretty effective with earlier on, so that's a very good pick, but someone we have not been seeing for some reason.
Kali.
Locked in.
Kali. Chronos will be selected for Barrage, but I'm still on Kali. Love this character. She's going to be able to chew through everyone on the side of Barrage when it comes to late game. Vamana will be able to get out of her clutches, but other people, they're going to have a little bit more trouble, especially if they wind up with Blink.
Last and final pick,
Again?
Rival. Gnome, going back to the Sun Wukong, although not going to be matched up against the tier. He'll be facing off against Watson's Vamana. This time around, we'll have to see how this one goes. But honestly, I mean, Gnome on the Sun Wukong, we were talking about it like, oh, what is he going to bring? He brought lane dominance against Watson.
And, as I said in game number 2, Sun Wukong, it's a character that, he's not bad. He's just not as good as everybody else when you think about it in the big picture. But Gnome made it work. And as I always say, you play the game that you're actually playing right now, not the one that's theoretical on paper. And so, sure, Sun Wukong, not the greatest, but homie plays it well.
Listen. I know what you're going for there, right?
Yeah.
You need to come up with the actual quote, right? Because you just keep saying a quote. You're like, as I always say, but you say it in a different style every single time. I need you to figure out a way to say it.
Well, people got tired of hearing the stuff after the stuff, so I decided to get...
No, people love the stuff after the stuff.
Well, I mean, that's Smite at its most basic form. That's what Smite is all about. Capitalizing off of...
No, what is?
Silt.
Come on, what is it? Say it. Say it again. What's the most basic form?
The stuff after the stuff.
I feel so much happier now.
Incon loves it. I'll tell you that. Incon does love that phrase.
Reels loves it as well.
Yeah.
I think one of the Fnatic boys.
Incon used it a whole bunch on the World's
analysis. He's like, I gotta go back to what Fdot says.
I was there.
The stuff after the stuff is what they did. Game 3 though, Barrage taking on Team Rival, both with a win to their name. The victor here will claim the Week 3 European console victory.
Small optimization. Jeron using the time rift here to clear out the back camp by himself. A lot of times you'll see Chronos' select the third ability, the stun, and hit both camps with it and stun the minions out.
Those Chronos players. It does help him clear out the small camps first, but obviously you don't get the tap onto both. We'll have to see. It looks like they are going to be late to lane as well, so maybe not something they should have been looking to doing. Elexum, though, on this Isis is going to be controlling the mid lane for now. Double tap from Lycan. Now, this is what I want to see. Is Lycan going to gank this dual lane once again? Both times we saw it, though, he was actually on Chaos. This time he's on Order.
Yeah, that might change things around a little bit, but with the Isis, I think that'll make up for it. Level 3 going to be hit off this wave for the mid laner. Not the same for the jungler. Watson getting aggressed on by Gnome.
Watson continuing to get bullied. We can't really see the potions right now, but that's going to be a big mainstay of that duo lane, who honestly is burning their potions most. Jeron taking a little bit of poke, but the turnaround onto all.
Stun. Nowhere to be seen as Jeron takes more damage than he deals out.
I'm really surprised to see, or not see, Rival go for that. Jeron had nothing. Accelerate was down. One Stellar Burst and another pluck from Khepri, or any amount of damage would have resulted in first blood.
I think they were unsure of when Time Stop was coming back up, because he used it on the wave quite obviously, as it wasn't available for that fight. So I think Rival was afraid of being stunned out into bad damage. And again, you have to adapt. They probably were expecting Lycan to show up.
That's a fair enough. Fair enough. They are going to be pressuring out this dual lane, and in the mid lane, it's going to be the Isis and Thor continuing to have dominance. Kali just trying to focus on farming, and that's all Rival want to do right now. They want to farm the late game. They have the Kali, New Wall, Khepri, so like their comp screams late game. They just have to survive Barrage's early and mid game onslaughts.
Big difference is that Lycan's playing this Thor. Level 5 on the Thor is going to be a lot different than level 5 on a wheelish early game or some of the other choices. So that early gank that we saw on the other characters that he played might not come into fruition here on the Thor.
Right-hand side, we're going to have a continuous slap fight. It doesn't look like Gnome's been able to get the better of Watson in this this warrior versus warrior matchup, and Watson doing his best to kind of just control the pace of the lane. Isis Thor, though, still, we have not seen them make any aggressive stance. You can see them starting to do their back harpies. Honestly, the team could look to invade the boars, but just electing to farm. I'm a little bit worried from this. I'm a little bit worried about this from Barrage, right? Not only have the Isis Thor, but they also have this dual lane Athena that can just ult over and set up any amount of kills. And now that Lycan's 5, I would like to see in the next couple minutes him start to force some things, really look for the invade on this blue or red on spawn.
I completely agree. The level 5 with the Thor is not. He's not like a. He's not like a Hun Bats, where you absolutely where it's against the law to engage before level 5, right? You do see successful Thor.
There we go.
But it's so much different with that available. And with 2 here, that means Thor is coming down from the sky. Half HP is Khepri, but it's just not enough. Triple. Look at that. Look at that.
Scared the Isis all. The rest of Rival had no intention of fighting into this.
Nope. Just scared enough to pop the Ice Assault, and that's going to open the window for Team Rival to really advance wherever they feel fit. Without that big circle of protection, they can go in, but knowing they have a Kali,
I think if Isis had a little bit more mana there, we could have seen Barrage try and force this. But the problem is, because the problem is for Rival is that they have 0 mid-harpy fight, right? Nua's ultimate is useless for mid-harpy fights. It's actually an escape tool until she has a ton of magical damage base to make that useful. Kali also, her ultimate not really going to be useful at this point in the game, especially considering she can't chase down targets or get away even after her ultimate ends. And then Khepri, he has the revive, but that's a defensive ult, right? There's nothing offensive about Rival's 3v3, and Barrage really need to take advantage of that.
Much slower, or at least later paced game, shall we say. Barrage took a 5-minute Gold Fury in Game 2. We saw them in semifinals go 5-minute Gold Fury. This time around, it's 5 minutes, and we haven't even seen a first blood. So very different style game coming out from Barrage and Rival. Very meticulous. Both teams sort of choosing their engagements a little bit more carefully, which will benefit Team Rival a little bit better, as they have a Kali to showcase for the late game.
Now you can see this red buff starting to spawn. No invades coming out just yet, really. I'm so worried for Barrage. It's 0-0 in kills. They need to force. They need to force something, especially in these 3v3s. They just have a complete advantage. It's pure defense coming out from Rival until the late game. And the later this game goes, the more these hard carries come online. Watson, did he have his boar stolen? Did Gnome get those? Oh, no, Watson was trying to steal, but who got those?
Looks like you can see it goes down at the last moment. It went towards Team Rival.
So successfully secures his own boars.
Great taunt out of Athena. And that's going to help out the Thor. But a better purification from the mid lane, Nuwa, will save the life of Atonement.
And Rival continue to play this passive game style, and it's working for them right now. Dynasty played Helm was picked up by Atonement in the middle lane. I really like this, right? Physical defense, penetration here,
No
but it may not be able to keep him alive. One hit.
He's going to fall as soon as he, well, falls. Barrage, the first one on the board is to support. And he takes out the mid laner off the assist of Elexum and Lycan.
And now the team heading over. They're going to be able to secure these mid-harpies. No contention coming out from Rival. I would like to imagine. Kali, did she use purification? Oh, wow. Really worried about getting bursted there. Successfully counter wards, but has to be in purification.
I mean, they just beat up the mid lane the same way. You better be afraid of the burst. I saw this episode before. I'm out. That's what Kali said. I watched what happened to Nuwa. I'm a beads, and I'm out.
Oh, man. Right-hand side, Watson getting a little low. Gnome, I don't think he has any cooldowns spent to get Watson that low. Wow. Oh, but look at these mid-harpies. You can see the group up from the core coming out once again from Barrage, but Khepri recognizes it.
My question about this solo lane is, because, I mean, Watson's a great player, and he's on the Vamana, the flavor of the month. Is Wukong this good, or is it Gnome's Wukong that's pulling this off?
I think it's Gnome's Wukong. Mid lane, though, Atonement should survive. Nice Duke of the Spirit Ball.
So you think it's
I think Gnome's just playing really well. Gnomes look really good this tournament specifically. Might be one of the reasons that Rival have made it so far and coming in 1-1 against the two-time champions.
I mean, in the semifinals, it was the story of Gnome and Zenborne, right? And I think Gnome has really continued performing at a very high level. 2 teleports coming out from Team Rival, or at least 2 players here on the left-hand side. So the idea of Gold Fury by Barrage quickly chased away by presence alone.
Single kill on the board, just under 8 minutes in, and I give Barrage credit. They're not like giving up, right? You actually see them trying to force things, but this has just been all Rival doing a phenomenal job with their positioning, not getting out of, not putting themselves, into these awkward spots. They're purely defensive. I don't think we've seen them past that invisible Gold Fury line, right? If you look at the Gold Fury to the Fire Giant and you draw a line across them, I don't think we've seen Rival cross that once.
Yeah, they've been very...
This is what I want to see from Barrage, basically saying,
Look
you
at Soul.
have to fight
Look
us.
At Soul.
We have the Ice Assault to secure this. Soul, though, completely whiffs the ultimate.
Well played by the aggressors. 2 kills for Rival so far. Jeron going to be chased away as Nuwa goes to the sky. Every member from Team Rival head into the mid lane.
Barrage successfully able to get the Gold Fury, but at a 2-man cost, and now more than likely a tower cost as well. On the right-hand side, Watson going to be stealing away a couple camps, and now Barrage, that lead that they just earned, going to be neutralized, and it's going to be a 1,000 gold difference, just what we've been seeing all game.
Very fun play by by Barrage as a unit, whoever was tanking the Gold Fury in that situation, because as you noted, Soul whiffed the ult, but that was more about Team Rival or Barrage moving the Gold Fury away from where it's normally tanked. Because if where Soul ulted is where the Gold Fury is tanked normally all the time. Like that's where it sits. So Soul fires and forgets, but Barrage is like, we see you, and they just shimmy to the right.
Oh man, Headhunter here, gonna be facing off against Jeron. Jeron, not electing to go into the Doom War build, which we see so often from Chronos, is going to go book a Thoth. On the other side, though, Headhunter has gone into the Doom War, has it almost stacked, working on his boots. Elexum, honestly, Zenborne could get turned on here.
Zenborne was a little deep by himself, finds himself quickly at a quarter.
Sobek, all he does is pluck, right? Khepri, it's the same way. He's like, I don't care if I'm defensive support, I'm still going to pluck.
Well, that's what was so impressive to me, was that he was able to play hyper-aggressive Sobek, and then I don't want to say hyper-defensive, but relatively defensive Khepri the very next game. We saw Sobek last game. He was very aggressive and didn't have a shining moment like he did earlier. But this time around on the Khepri, a little bit more aggressive, finds himself early with 1 kill and 1 assist.
And now Barrage, this is starting to get into dangerous territory, in my opinion, where 10.5 minutes in. They've only got 1,000 gold lead, and while they have, they got the first kill and a gold fury, Team Rival has just been playing, honestly, flawlessly. Here we go, though. Looking for the taunt. Khepri gonna pluck Athena back under tower. A 2-man taunt, not gonna be enough. And a beautiful wall.
Well played by the Thor. Is gonna force Awe into a poor position.
Thor's in the sky. He could look to land down and try and keep his team alive, but it's too late. Hydra's already closed the gap, and that was the target coming out from Kali. She's gonna find that one. 3rd kill on the board, and now Watson.
By his lonesome.
Doesn't even care.
Nah, he's up in the big baby form. Not really too concerned about all of this nonsense. But now that he's not, he definitely is. Stun,
no.
Pluck, burn, you're done. Watson on the floor. Atonement puts number 4 on the side of his team, and Team Rival barking down tier 2 at just 11-20.
Wow. And they were on the back foot. This is the first time they've made an aggressive play. They're going to trade out Zenborne for Jeron. Hydra for Jeron.
This is the team's. This is what this team is good at. Team Rival. They're good at looking at a situation when they're down. Now, granted, it was 1,500 before that last exchange. Not a huge deal, but they won game 1 by coming back from a 4,000 gold deficit. They fight into these deficits, Kevin. Then you hear the enemy has a lead of 2,000 gold, and Rival go, "Okay, we'll kill him." And that's what they do. They're confident in their play enough to go up against an opponent with a lead, and that's what's allowing them to win these team fights.
And now this Kali has Chen's online, starting to work on Fatalis. Should be up very, very shortly. My problem here is going to be, or the question here for me, the later this game goes, is kind of this Hunter v Hunter matchup, the mage versus mage, right? The Soul versus the Chronos. Now, I think both do similar amounts of damage in the late game, but the thing is, Chronos, I think, has a higher potential to just win a game.
I agree.
I think the Souls, a lot of time, are going to be relying on their ultimates.
I think that there's just more control on the side of Chronos. You've got the stun, which is very easy to hit multiple people with, right? And then your ability to take towers, they're both sort of there as far as Soul and Chronos is concerned, but Chronos can very quickly take the tower, turn directly to opponent, put the burst from the time rift underneath them. I think Chronos has a couple more tools available.
I think the Soul brings more AoE. Right, the Stellar Burst can be real. If you hit multiple targets, it's slowing them as well, and also set up for your team. Supernova as well. The first tick does so much damage. Now the other ticks as well going to be doing 20%, I believe, of the
it's about
damage.
the knock up at that point.
It's still significant, right? But Chronos, if left untouched, can just 1v1 anyone.
Actually,
he's a top. That's why he's a top duel player, or one of the best gods in duel.
You see that a lot, where the Chronos just somebody forgot to look at him, and he finds his way to the back line, and all of a sudden you hear double kill, triple kill, quadra kill, and you're like, where's the Chronos? And he's just sitting there with going 9-1.
Zenborne here, poked out as he tries to pluck someone out of position in Rival. I talked about it, them not crossing kind of that invisible line in the mid lane, have since now taken more control of the map. You could see Headhunter forcing Jeron out of the duo, and the rest of the team looking to, at the very least, bait Gold Fury, but Atonement, he's already poked out.
Looking for a taunt is Awe, not going to go for the Khepri, who is an easy target, not a lot of follow-up immediately. I love this new Awe ult here. That new Awe ult has zero to do with damage and everything to do with vision. Nuwa takes to the sky. She's not going to kill anybody. She wants to see how close Barrage is to the enemies in her own left jungle. Great play. Love it.
Couple players going back here. No Gold Fury just yet. It has spawned.
We should name that invisible line. Can't say 50-yard line, right? That's a very American term.
The 50-meter fly line.
If he did something very aggressive, I would have. Keep your eye on the left lane.
No, you can't do no man's land. That's like kind of like not a line. That's kind of like a distance.
Buffer zone, yeah. I don't know. Prime Meridian, Equator, right?
Prime Meridian is up and down.
Yes.
So Equator would be more accurate, yeah. I don't know though. That doesn't feel like. I don't know. We need some.
Like I said,
we need someone very knowledgeable about lore, right? We got to do something.
Caps lock, Earth to caps lock. I mean, I always call it the 50-yard line on my stream, but that's a very American saying. Right?
Yeah, no, that doesn't count.
It's going to be a bunch of Americans and Captain Coach that go, oh yeah, football. right? Everybody else was going to be like,
Hughes as well. He's a Steelers fan.
oh yeah,
Over in the Australian region.
Yeah, he's our international correspondent on Esports Weekly. Very fun guy. My favorite accent and bow tie in the SPL.
He doesn't have a very strong one, though. Gold Fury, though, going
Good
to
stun.
be looked at. Elexum taking a lot of poke, double stunned, but his purification will be forced, and he's going to reset. Sprint was also popped. Help get him out.
3 members for Rival around the Gold Fury. 1 member of Barrage chased out. Isis still relatively, she's fine. She could definitely join the party if need be. But Rival, step away from the objective and start looking directly towards the support. Taunts to Khepri. Got stunned out. Khepri now in a bad
is
spot.
Laughing off this damage. Yeah. Laughing it off. Took a spear ball to the face. Double tap is going to miss, but still a little bit of poke. Watson now going to be chasing down this soul. He's rotated to the mid lane.
Isis in the back, getting walled off. That's how you stop your teammate from diving too hard. No.
It sounded like Chronos there.
Let's go.
Really good. Accidentally fat fingers. He's gonna can't taunt Zenborne back in, and because of that, Zenborne's gonna get his ultimate off. He should survive this.
Thor lands right on top of Gnome. Where's Chronos on the backside? Can he find his way into the fight? He's playing it very safe, wants to stay far away from this Kali. Now looks for it. Stun is good. Purification forced out on the assassin. And Watson shows up, and he's still going. Knockup forces the Kali ult. Here comes the taunt, and
Who's
Kali gets the kill before Watson does. And Awe takes a spill as well.
Doesn't even matter who the target is. 2 players going to die. Speaking of that Thor wall to tell your team to not die, that was needed right there. Rival managing to turn it around 2 for 1.
Barrage now lead by absolutely nothing. We've got a tie game despite what the kills say up on top, and Rival trying to change that as they aggress onto the Gold Fury. Very low is their damage source of Nuwa, so she'll have to stay on the backside, but here's Gnome.
Oh,
the Isis ultimate might be, it will be enough.
This is going to be secured. Barrage managing to sneak the Gold Fury away, only losing the Isis. Hydra picks up Lycan in the mid lane. Not exactly sure what happened there, but really fantastic play coming up from Elexum.
The slowest steal of all time. Usually steals are like, blink, bang, haha, I got it, now run it away. Blah.
That was like a reset. That
he
was like
sat there going, okay, guys, just bring it down low, but I'm here. Guys, are you still...
They tried to reset it. They just didn't expect the Isis to take it. I mean, that was a fantastic play from him.
Great heads-up play.
Definitely something that's going to help keep Barrage in the game. Isis has found 3 deaths. She's only level 13, which is really rough considering we're 18 minutes in.
Finals, though. This is a best of 3. So the winner of this takes number 1. And once again, Barrage has won 2 weeks running. Rival trying to change things up a little bit and put a new name on the throne. And as you can take a look at the player damage, they want it badly. 2 of the top damaging players are on the side of Team Rival. It's their mid lane and their Hunter, Nuwa and Soul.
4 kills on Hydra. This has just been a phenomenal performance from Rival as a whole. Playing very defensively, not getting out of position. Honestly, Barrage missed a couple opportunities, but they were still trying. Like, they were still forcing things.
Yeah.
But it's just no one was in position, or really good positions, excuse me, coming up from Rival to not die. The Khepri also being a big factor in that.
Yeah, Khepri has been very powerful in and outside of lane this time around. Earlier in the set, Khepri was powerful outside of lane, but in the laning phase kind of got smoked. So a little bit of adaptation here, which I love to, I always pay attention to see, all right, you guys did this, how do we adjust, how do we succeed off of where we once failed? And right now these teams are really learning a lot about not just each other, but also themselves. Got a little philosophical on you there real quick.
I was like, I don't know how to respond to this one. Pretty sure that I've seen that episode on every show on PBS forever.
Oh, you said PBS. Never mind. There's the left-hand side. Team Rival grouped up as 4. That's going to be a Tier 1 tower.
Big
no
taunt.
problem. But here comes the aggression. The counter-attack is really what I want to see here. Barrage show up a little bit late, but they are willing and ready to take the fight. They've got 4 members here. Now with Vamana TP, and they've got 5.
Watson actually TP's in. You can see Gnome has his running shoes on. He'll have to walk over the lane with his teleport down, but Watson can't force anything. And now, actually, Gnome just going to be split pushing the mid lane. I like this decision. Rival make the call that they're going to be fine. He gets a free wave in mid and then rotates over back to his tower. This is something he's going to be able to split push. In addition, his TP will be up in 8 seconds. So even if Barrage force anything, he can be there and make an impact.
You know, he hasn't died just yet, so I can't necessarily fault him, right? If it works, it's not stupid if it works. I hate Jotuns out of the solo lane, Kevin. I really just hate it. Sun Wukong's job here is to be a front line. It's not to deal damage. You can get CDR from so many other valuable and enticing items. You just don't need the 10 pen from Jotuns.
I agree. You take a look, right? You have a Kali, you have a Soul, you have a Nuwa, you have carries. Just be that front line. Speaking of front line, Lycan going to dive into 2. Nuwa going to ult in response trying to get out. But honestly, he could be turned on here. Sun Wukong going to activate his ult. He will be crashing down. Curse everything being expended to keep Lycan alive.
Of course, when his damage matters, it's immediately after I criticize him building damage. So luckily for Team Rival, damage coming out of Sun Wukong is going to force Awe into a scary situation that Kali is able to capitalize on. Now Chronos being looked at by Kali, unable to really find a target, and she'll have to play it a little bit safer. But yeah, I mean, of course, the second I say, you know what, maybe he doesn't need the offensive item,
I mean, he didn't have the damage. He didn't have the damage. Even with the offensive item, he didn't have the damage. Could have just been a frontliner.
He would have yeah.
So, hey man, there you go. Like, unless he's building full damage, then what is this, like 2032 jungle Wukong?
I was just gonna say that's jungle.
I know
Wukong.
you were.
That's jungle Wukong.
That's a 2032 god right there.
Yep.
Right-hand side, Watson charging forward, gonna knock up
dead
Atonement. Atonement, no ult, but the fog! Watson was confused, he couldn't find him. Here comes Athena ult and a beautiful wall, but there's the Khepri ult. Zenborne with the big play.
Here's still the big baby. Kali takes a big chunk out of Lycan, who's gonna get stunned out on the backside. Not gonna find the target with the magic cudgel.
No, I'm pretty sure he connected, but the stun came out before it could land. Woof. So many saves so far in this fight. Watson, though, no one to save him. Headhunter finds him.
Rival now leading this fight. Nobody dead in red. Watson has already taken a spill. Gnome giving chase on 3 all by himself with his team in tow. Soul and Khepri flanking on the Sun Wukong. Not going to continue down the right-hand lane.
Somehow, both teams hold out. Blue buff going to be started. Zenborne doesn't want to give up for free. Will find the root. Doesn't want to dash, though, and look to put himself out of position. We saw that a lot of times when he ended up playing Sobek here. Fire Giant just going to be warded up. Gold Theory has spawned once again. 22, just under 23 minutes in. I do expect the next fight to be a Gold Theory. Fire Giant probably going to be coming after this.
I wonder if Kali could... Is Kali fat enough to really sneak that just yet?
She has no lifesteal. She'll die to it. She has her ultimate.
Well, I meant with Nuwa.
Oh, yeah, of course. It would take a little bit, but...
Because they were on the left-hand side getting their pigs.
They don't have any wards on their own.
Exactly.
No? So like that's the thing, right? Even if you don't have wards on the Gold Free, you can start it up. If you have wards a little bit deeper and you can see the team rotating in. But now with 3, they feel much safer. Soul going to be rotating as well.
Yep.
Barrage have 0 idea.
I love this play. Khepri's going to go to the right side because the last game, again, harping on this fact of adaptation as Rival defeat the Gold Fury and put themselves further in the lead with 3,000. Game 2 or Game 1. Game 2. Rival started Gold Fury, Barrage started Fire Giant, and they both crossed the map to go fight each other. This time, Rival go, all right, Khepri, you go hang out by the Fire Giant, and we'll only leave if necessary.
Like him.
Love that stuff. Absolutely.
Like him get up to this guy in time. But a good attempt by Rival to kill him.
What an iron gamer.
Left-hand side, it's Chronos actually going to be split pushing. He doesn't have teleport. Honestly, Rival can force something here, and that's just what they're doing. They need to do something because no one right now is teleporting to defend this tower.
And the Chronos can and will get the Phoenix if left alone there, so he's going to look to do that while his team looks to defend, maybe not a Tier 2, but at least the Phoenix. Tier 2 being aggressed on by Team Rival. They've got all 5 members, plus a decoy here. Tower's going to fall. Chronos already on the Phoenix. Is anybody backing? It's going to be Kali. Phoenix on the side of Rival, already half done. Phoenix on the side of Rival. It is down. Chronos has completed his job, and he's going to get out of there. Tough stuff for the rest of Barrage, though.
The problem is Barrage is actually trying to defend this, and they could get turned on. A fantastic route coming out from New Wall. Zenborne's going to find that one, and that was Barrage getting way too ahead of themselves. Chronos had that for free. Kali way too late to the party, but instead Barrage still trying to defend, and they lose 2 members for it. That was unneeded deaths.
Right there, you just trade the Phoenix.
And now it's Fire Giant.
Yep.
The Phoenix trade was beautiful from Chronos, but the team not understanding how to utilize it so efficiently.
Exactly.
Fire Giant, we're going to see a couple members of Barrage smell this out. It's going to be Watson and Jeron. They're going to try and stop it.
They're having trouble. Hydra's here, just stopping Watson from doing anything he wants. Rival go ahead successfully pick it up despite Jeron showing his face. Fire Giant going to go the way of Team Rival. Let's take a look at the graphs. 3,300 gold in the lead for Team Rival, and they are also in the lead by 11 kills.
Rival now. We'll have to see if they continue the trend in this set of throwing when you have the lead. We've seen that a lot. They don't have a massive gold lead, really. It's very small, especially considering how far ahead they are in kills. But they have the late game team comp, so this is fine. A lot of the early pressure was in favor of Barrage. They are able to find their own gold lead, and since then, Rival have made, I believe it's a overall 5,000 or 6,000 gold swing, looking at the current state of the game.
Barrage forced to 4-man group for these camps. They want to be careful as they know that Team Rival lurking somewhere in the waters, or the jungle rather.
Sobek? No, he's Khepri this time.
He's played Sobek so much.
He has.
Sobek's
Pen
so
boot
cool.
Sobek. Yo, Zenborne's like, I don't care, fam.
Not
We're
at all.
we going Sobek, boys. Red buff. I got like 10 magical power.
I'm going to have 14. Rival looking towards the left-hand side, grouped up with that Fire Giant buff, and not afraid, just walking right on up, hitting the soul in the face. Thor not going to find a target with the ult.
Lycan whiffs, and Jeron puts himself into an awkward spot, but any poke Rival take, unless it's a big hit, going to be healed up immediately by that Fire Giant. Gnome actually going to use his bird form. He's going to be taking up this tower, and the team is just going to take this uncontested.
Decent poke by Barrage. Long-range Spirit Ball. Going to hurt a lot, but ultimately, Tier 2 goes the way of Rival. Looking at the left Phoenix, although not showing their hand completely, they're going to 4-1 split with the left in the mid, spread the defense out just a little bit. And here it comes. You see Kali jumping on the back line, new out focused on the Firebird. Kali's going to be surrounded. Ultimate is strong, but it's only up for a couple of seconds. Will she survive?
Just die. Reset yourself. No, actually, it doesn't. Oh, no, she does. She's in the middle of the fight, though. At half-life, almost able to take out Watson, and Kali goes back in after being forced out, surrounded, looking for her target. There's the stun. It's going to be Headhunter to find the last hit. Elexum will return, but Headhunter, the soul, finds a double kill. Now, it's going to be a 4-on-3 Rival. They've taken down all 3 Phoenixes, the Titan on half-life. It looks like we're going to have a new champion.
Might be. Can Barrage play
done?
Well, absolutely not. Team Rival blows up the Titan. They wind up at #1, and Barrage, for the first week in 3, find themselves looking up at someone else.
That's got to feel so bad if you're Barrage. Not even just the loss, just that last fight, right? Kali dives in, right? Looking for the Isis, commit so much. Your entire team turns their attention to the Kali, forcing her out of the fight. She gets her ult off, and you're like, all right, we dealt with Kali. Then she's revived. She walks into a Phoenix, but then gets the Khepri ult on top, and you're like, okay, at least Kali's out of the fight. And then she gets revived back into the left lane, and then rampages forward. Your team groups up, surrounds her, but then you're in a group. Headhunter comes up with a big stellar burst, finding all 3 players, fighting himself a double kill. They sacrifice the Kali, and it's like, come on, man, we dealt with her. She was out. She came back in.
What was really funny for me is a lot of times you see that Khepri ult used in a, it's always defensive, right? And you hear that, kill yourself and reset so you're 20 miles away because Khepri was already turning right. Nah, they use that offensively. Like, they ulted Kali, and I'm sure the conversation was, everyone's here. Die and you can murder them. And that's what we saw. Great play from Lycan and everybody else in the squad.
You saw their Rival coming up on top 2-1, so Watson going to find his first loss in these qualifiers. The team as a whole looking good. Gnome, honestly, really, really controlling Watson, so big fan of that.
North America. That concludes the European SCL qualifiers for this Saturday. Moving on to tomorrow, the 3rd, we will see the North American SCL qualifiers. A lot of familiar faces, including Weekend himself on the Xbox side, and we will also have a PC SPL game as well. All the action starts here at 3 p.m. Make sure to tune in. I will be here. Everyone else will be here. The casters will be. Production will be. And Peckies will be. Hi-Rez TV, 3 p.m.
Peckies.